Hello, everyone. This is Christina here. I hope that you are having a good day. I'm having a lovely day, even though it is cold and rainy and just generally quite nasty outside. But I've been staying inside today, doing a bit of work, working on putting something together for you guys to help you really to learn and become fluent in English, really step by step with a very complete system. Because, a lot of times students, when I work with clients, and we ask what their objectives are, the most common things people say are, I want to not hesitate when I find my words. I want to have more confidence when I speak. I want to feel better about myself. I don't want to feel uncomfortable when I'm speaking English. I want to have the words for my conversations. I want to hesitate less. I want to understand what other people are saying. And I just want to be able to speak English without having to think too much about it. I want to speak English like I speak my native language, and it just comes easily. And a lot of times students, they don't know how to go from where they are today to that objective. And so a lot of times they might say things like, "Oh, I just need to move to a country and speak English all the time. I need to be in an immersion." But right now it's a bit difficult to to travel and to go on an immersion, so you can't do that. Or they say, "Well, I just need somebody to speak with me and correct all of my mistakes, and I'll get better that way." And that doesn't work because, someone can correct your mistakes. That's fantastic. But it doesn't mean that you're going to stop making those mistakes. And it also, not every mistake needs to be corrected. If your objective is to speak fluently and to have good conversations, a couple of little mistakes are okay. What you really need to do is to be able to continue the conversation, to connect with people. And when you don't have the words or you don't understand something, to know how to manage that situation so that the conversation and the connection can continue. And so they'll say, "Well, okay, well, I just need some individual lessons. That's what I need." And individual lessons are great. I mean, that's like the basics of learning a language is you get with a teacher and you take lessons. It's fantastic, but sometimes it's not enough because you might see your teacher once a week or once every 2 weeks. In between your lessons, maybe life gets in the way. You have your kids and your work, and you're tired at the end of the day. And so every time you come back to your individual lesson, it's almost like you're starting again from the beginning, and that's going to slow your progress, of course. Um, and so what you need really is like a system that you can have that's going to help you to become more fluent, to become more comfortable, to manage all of those times when you don't find the word or when you don't understand the other person, because it's gonna happen. You may as well be prepared for it. And I'll talk a little bit about that system in just a minute, but I see there's a lot of you guys in the chat. And I just want to say hello. I'm seeing Carlos and Anna and Arturo and Arlindo, Mamadou, Estella, Aldo. I see people from Brazil, from Estonia, from South Korea, Via from Mexico and Turkey. And yeah, it's nice. Jack. Oh, Jack. Hey, good to see you again here. Jack was just in my session with the Understand Real American English group. And Jack is also, as you see, a member of the Fluency Club, which we're going to talk about. And that's really awesome. Thanks, Jack. I'm glad you're enjoying it. I think it's a fun program also. Um, not just because I created it, because I from the returns and the feedback we've had from students, that's what they've said. Um, so Anna says, "Where are you from?" I'm from Mississippi in the U.S. Actually, in the southern part of the United States, but I live in France now, and so I've gone through that process of learning a language and having embarrassing situations and making tons of mistakes and missing opportunities because of language. So yeah, I know what that process is like. That's why I want to help you, you guys, not have to go through all of that in English, and to help you to improve, feel comfortable, feel like yourself, get those opportunities, thanks to your English. So as I was saying, the system. So, what's the system that is going to help you to become fluent in the sense of being able to connect with someone and continue a conversation, to feel comfortable, to feel like yourself, to not feel blocked? There's four things in this system that are going to make it, let's say, easier for you to become fluent faster. And the first thing is something that's flexible. We all have busy lives, between kids, work. Maybe we do some sports. So we have to do things like, I don't know, go buy food. So you need something that's flexible, that's going to be able, that's compatible with your busy life. Because if it's flexible, it's easy to put into your life. It means you're going to do it more often. And so we really want to make it easy for you to do it so that you do it often. Flexible system. The next thing is you want to have a teacher. Now, a teacher can be, of course, a formally trained teacher or coach, but it can also be someone who is, a little better than you and who can help you. So by teacher, I just mean someone who can teach you the things that you're missing from your language. Maybe they can give you some new vocabulary. They can teach you an expression. They can share with you some tips or some resources. But you want someone who's going to help you move forward in the right direction instead of, staying at that same plateau that you might feel like you're at if you're just studying alone all the time. Um, Another thing that you want to make you become fluent faster is resources. Now, on the internet, there are tons of resources for learning English, but you want to have the right resources. Now, what are the right resources? You know, you want to have something that is structured, that is focused, so that when you're spending your time learning, you're getting repetition of the same vocabulary. You're seeing it over and over again because the repetition is what leads to remembering. And so it means repetition by reading it, repetition by hearing it, repetition by using it in conversations over and over again. And if you do that, like over the space of a week, for example, you're always having exposure to the vocabulary for a specific topic, like, I don't, you want to talk about your job, or you want to talk about things that are happening in the news, or you want to talk about your activities that you like to do. You want to get repeated exposure to that. And the way that you do that is through very carefully selected resources, so that everything is working together to make sure that all of that new vocabulary is like in the front of your brain and it's easy to remember when you need it. Because if you're in a conversation, maybe you've experienced this, you're in the conversation, you can't find the word, you're like, what is that word? I know this word, and you forget it. And like 5 minutes later, you're like, that was the word that I needed. It's like it's almost like because the word is back here in the back of your brain because you haven't used it for a long time, and it's taking the time to travel up to the front of your brain. But if you're always seeing it and hearing it and using it in conversations, it's going to stay in the front of your brain, and that is going to help you speak more fluently, in a sort of more natural way. And then, so we've got a flexible system. Let's see if you guys can remember with me. We've got a flexible system. We've got teacher, someone who can help you and to guide you. We've got focused resources so that you're getting repeated exposure to the right vocabulary to help you remember. And then the other thing is, of course, do you know what it is? You can put it in the chat if you know what the fourth thing is that we're missing from this system. Suspense? It's speaking practice, of course. So you're getting all of that. You've got your flexible system. You've got your teacher who is helping you along the way. You've got your focused resources for your themes that your topics that you're working on. And then, of course, you have to use it, because if you don't use it, you lose it. And that's what we say. If you don't use it, you lose it. If you don't use the vocabulary in conversations, you're going to just memorize it, but then you're going to lose it. You're going to forget it because you're not actually doing anything with it. And, when we put all of that system together, you can put the system together yourself. You can work on your calendar. You can find a friend or a teacher in your local area. You can spend time looking on the internet for interesting podcasts or articles or videos. And then you can maybe just find someone on Facebook or YouTube who can practice with you. You can put all of that together yourself, but it's much easier if you just have the system given to you. And that's what we do in the Faster Fluency Conversation Club. Is it takes that system and it gives you everything you need so that you can come and you can practice speaking English. And as the name of the program says, you can become fluent faster for your conversations in English. So I've put the link in the chat here, but I want to tell you a little bit specifically about the Faster Fluency Conversation Club, and especially the system and how it works and what you get. So in the Faster Fluency Conversation Club, the way that the system is structured, every week we have a dedicated conversation topic. So, for example, I think this week it's a guided tour of your city. So these are, everyday topics. It's a mix of everyday topics and business topics. So topics that you would use in your work, in professional situations, in social situations. So we've got a dedicated theme of the week. Then on the weekend, you receive a newsletter for Fluency Club participants where we're going to give you a podcast that is specifically created by me and my teachers on the topic of the week. So you're understanding native speakers with the podcast. We're going to give you the transcript again to help you to train your ear to understand. In the transcript, we highlight interesting vocabulary for you. So we're telling you these are the expressions that you'll need to understand and use in your conversations. We give you vocabulary cards to help you regularly study the vocabulary and learn to remember it. And then we also give you a selection of resources from the internet that I have personally chosen for you to help you become more fluent talking about this conversation. And there's always a grammar resource, a vocabulary resource, generally a pronunciation resource or a listening resource, and then also just something interesting to give you some interesting ideas to talk about so that you can really have intelligent conversations on these topics. So you get all of that. And then during the week, every day of the week, so Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, you have a 1 hour conversation session with other participants of the Faster Fluency Conversation Club and one of the Fluency Club leaders, who is one of my expert teachers, who are there to moderate the conversation, to help you, to correct you, to answer your questions, so that you can become more comfortable talking about these conversations with your one or two conversation partners that you're working with in each of these conversation sessions. And one of the benefits of having a different conversation session every day of the week is you get that repetition. You're in a very safe environment with people who are, enjoying learning. Everyone's there to learn, so there's no judgment about your mistakes or your questions or your pronunciation. But because you're coming to the different sessions each week and you're talking about that same topic each time, you get that opportunity that you don't get in real life to talk about the same topic several different times, to practice using the vocabulary you learned, to try again, to try to improve each time, so that by the end of the week, you feel comfortable and fluent and you feel like you've got the vocabulary to talk about that topic. And also what's really great about this program is that you meet people from all over the world and you get to know other people and enjoy, it's like coming to hang out with your friends and practice English with your friends. And just to share some things that that other students have said about the program. Let me just grab some things that some of the students have said, because of course I can tell you about this program, but if you hear from other students what their experience has been, I mean, that's, it just tells you that this is someone that's like you, that's having the same hesitations, the same difficulties with English, and they have joined the program and they've seen, how much it can help them. So I just want to share a couple of the words from these students with you. So, for example, Meire, who is a Brazilian woman who has joined the club recently, she said, at first I hesitated to join the club because I was unsure that I would be able to keep up with the other students. But in fact, it helps me make English part of my daily life. And I love being able to connect with people from all over the world and to know about their lifestyles and the culture. The resources are great because I can prepare myself before the class. And when I come into the class, the atmosphere is friendly, the teachers are positive, and I really feel more comfortable about speaking English. Another student, so we've got Ali, who is from Argentina, who said, I wasn't sure about joining this program because I didn't know if it would really work. But in fact, it allows me to find gaps in my English knowledge. And I discover what I don't know, and then I learn it. And I can continue learning after the sessions thanks to the resources. I love the everyday topics and the material that you select for us. And the club has a lot of international students, so we can talk with people all over the world, but also have a teacher to help us. And if you want to talk in English and you need a place where that's your primary goal is to become fluent, the Fluency Club is the best place. Christina, you rock. So I thought that was quite nice. And yeah, Jacques, who is also, you see in the comments, Jacques is in the Fluency Club as well. And he says he agrees with it. So, you know, they've been hesitant because they don't know if they have the right level. They're afraid of, not being up to speed with the others. But in fact, it's a program that is for, I would say, intermediate. You could be pre-intermediate, intermediate level, even a bit more advanced. It's really like B1, B2, C1 level. And you can come into this program and you are really just going to get a lot more fluency. You're going to meet a lot of interesting people. But especially you're going to learn to feel fluent and to feel good about yourself when you're speaking English. And it's something that's easy to put into your life as well. So I have put the link for you to join the Fluency Club. Like I said, we've got a session every day of the week. So I'm sure that you will find a session, at least one session or two sessions that works with your schedule. On that page, you'll find all of the details about the schedule, about the price. So for this, this is one of our most affordable programs. It's 49 euros per month to join. 49 euros, you're going to get 21-hour conversation sessions. You're going to get the podcast, the transcript, the vocabulary cards, the additional resources. Twice a month, you get a live Q&A session with me as well. So it really is a fantastic deal because we want to make it possible for as many people around the world to connect with each other, to come together as a global community, to promote, I think, understanding across different cultures. I think you guys now more than ever, like this is something we have got to do as a global community, is learn to understand each other and to talk with each other in English or in any language. But we want to make that possible for as many people as we can. And so even right now, if you decide to join the Faster Fluency Conversation Club, you can use the code FFC40, FFC40 to get 40% off your first month of membership. It's a way to come into the club, to meet the people who are there, to see how fantastic they are, and to try it out for a very low risk, a low risk opportunity. Try it out. And even if you try it out and after 2 weeks of doing it, you're like, nah, this isn't for me, just send me an email and we'll refund your money. Because we really want to make it fluent faster, to feel good about yourself, speaking in English, to give you a system so that you don't have to waste your time trying to understand, how do I do this? This is the system that we'll give to you. And you just have to come in and join us, and you'll see it's a lot of fun. So I'll put that link again in the chat for you. And also, if you have any questions about the Faster Fluency Conversation Club, of course, you can put your questions in the chat, and I'll be happy to take a few minutes to answer your questions as well, because I want to make sure that I, answer all of your questions. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to just check, because I see you guys are very active in the chat, which is fantastic. I love that. And I just want to see if I missed any questions already. Okay, let's see. Thanks, teacher. Okay, very good. Thanks. Another excellent video. Thank you, Sandra. That's very nice. Spreading knowledge. Exactly. That's it. Simple, objective, clear, super didactic. That's the objective, to make it just step by step, very feasible and very easy for you to know what to do to improve your English, because I think there's so many resources out there that we just don't know where to start sometimes. Um, let's see. I don't have super fluent. You don't have to be super fluent. It's everyone's got their own objectives, and that's fine. To be important for my career, definitely English is important for your career. All right. Let's see. And let's see. Row, I guess that's 12IO says, how many people are in the group class? So in the group session, you'll connect. There might be, it depends on the day, anywhere from 10 to 15 to 20 people connected, but you're not going to spend the entire session with everyone in the group. The Fluency Club leader, the teacher, is going to match you with a different participant in the program, maybe two participants, so that you're going to spend the first half of the program having conversations with the other member, and the teacher will come in to help you for part of your conversation. And then the teacher's going to bring everyone back together to correct some mistakes that they heard, to share some interesting expressions for you to learn. And then the teacher is going to put you with a new conversation partner so that you can take those corrections and those new expressions and try perhaps to use them in that second conversation. So even though there are a lot of different people in the program, you're going to spend most of the time with one or two other people and a little bit of time with your teacher, who's going to maybe correct you and offer some help. So it's a very good way to get a lot of speaking practice. Mary says, embrace our individualism. Definitely. Your accent, that's part of who you are. Keep it. Everyone's got a different accent. You don't have to speak perfectly. Nobody speaks perfectly. But you want to speak fluently with the emotions, with the energy, with the connection. And that's what you're going to learn to develop in the Faster Fluency Conversation Club. All right, so I think no other questions about this program. So like I said, you can join, go ahead and join today. It's Wednesday. The next session is actually in 30 minutes. So if you join right now, you can start your Faster Fluency Conversation Club in 30 minutes. You can join that first session. And like I said, if you use the code FFCC40, you can save 40% off of your first month of membership. All right, you guys, thanks a lot. I hope to see a lot of you in the Faster Fluency Conversation Club. Have a good evening. And like I said, 30 minutes, that first session is starting. Hopefully we'll see you there. Have a good one and take care of yourself. Bye.